Hi everyone. Good morning. I am Andrea GIAN, and for today, I am going to tackle about the topic of the reduction of proposition into logical form. But before we proceed to that main topic of mine, I'm going to show you the types of categorical proposition and explain the types one by one. So here are the lesson objectives. So first, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to identify and classify the type of categorical proposition, analyze their logical structure by identifying subject terms, predicate terms, and copula, define a categorical proposition and its components, describe the function of each part of a proposition. So, moving on, I'm going to show you a chart of the types of categorical proposition. So, to have a panoramic view of the types of categorical propositions, let us consider the following chart. So, there are four types of categorical proposition: the type A, E, I, and O. So, in here, the type A, it has the quantity of the subject term as universal, the copula as the affirmative, and the quantity of the predicate is particular. So, the last few weeks, Miss Montas discussed about what it is, and of course also Miss Marian. So I hope you understood it, and I am just gonna recap the things that have been discussed. So in the type A proposition, it is the universal affirmative, and the type I proposition, it is also the particular affirmative, and the type E proposition, it is the universal negative, and the type O proposition, it's the particular negative. This is on the topic of Miss Kiara. So we're going I am going to discuss the topic, which is the reduction of proposition into its logical form. So, reduction of proposition to logical form. So, proposition. It's deemed constructed in its logical form if it has what a proposition must consist of. So we all know proposition. It is the statement that has it's either true or false. So that is proposition. And in here, it is deemed constructed in its logical form if it has what a proposition must consist of. So when a statement has a proposition, then it is constructed and it is well constructed into its logical form. So the logical form here, it is the underlying structure of a statement that reveals the meaning and how it relates to other statement. So in logic, it is has the symbol, which is the symbol A and X, but the A here is upside down. So um for example, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. So in this statement, it has a proposition and it is in logical form. So next, it's the there are three kinds of proposition. Three essential parts of proposition. Here it is. So the subject term, the copula, and predicate term. So I will not dig deeper these three essential parts because we all have repeatedly discussed what these three are and what is the usage of these three. So we all know that subject term is the subject of, or the main topic, or the main subject of the statement, while the copula is the linking it's the linking verb that is helping the subject to connect to the predicate, while the predicate here, it is the what is the meaning or the uh, pasabot sa subject term. So moving on, we have a 4 rules governing the manner which a proposition can be reduced to its logical form. So first rule, it is to determine what type of categorical proposition is a given proposition. So we are going to determine what type of categorical proposition in the given proposition, because when we have the proposition, when we have the subject, all, we have the statement, all men are mortal. So which we have to determine what a type of categorical proposition it is. Is it the universal affirmative? Is it the particular affirmative? Is it the universal negative? Is it the particular negative? So we have to determine. That's the first rule. While the second rule, it is to determine or identify the subject term of the proposition. So we have to identify the subject of the proposition, for that, so that we can easily know what is the whole meaning of that statement. So next, it is the third rule. So the third rule, it is to determine the quantity of the subject term. So we have to determine the quantity of the subject term. So there are universal, particular quantity of the subject term, right? As according to the types of categorical proposition, there are 4 types: the A, E, I, and O, and there are 2 quantity, which is the universal and particular. So we have to determine the quantity of the subject term for us to know if it is universal and if it is particular. So the fourth rule, it is to determine the quality of the copula. So to determine the quality of the copula, we also need to identify the types of categorical proposition, which is it is either particular, or if it is only universal. So that's also the same one as the subject term, but in here it is the quality in the copula, while in the third rule it is the quantity of the subject term. So moving on, it is the hypothetical proposition. So hypothetical proposition, it is a compound or complex proposition that shows a condition, dependency, opposition, or similarity between 2 or more proposition. So when we say hypothetical, it shows that it has a conditioning, dependency, opposition, or similarity between 2 or more proposition, which is a direct. So I have here an example. So the hypothetical proposition example. So it is also known as a conditional proposition that expresses a relationship between 2 or more statements, showing a condition, dependency, and is often using the F and then, or either, or structures. So it uses F, then, either, or na structures. So it has 3 kinds of hypothetical proposition: the conditional or hypothetical, the disjunctive, and the conjunctive. And there it is, the 3 kinds of hypothetical proposition: the connected, conjunctive or the conditional, or the hypothetical, or and the conjunctive and disjunctive. So I am going to give them definitions, but I am not going to dig deeper the three kinds of hypothetical proposition because Miss Amasen will be the one will be the one who will discuss or dig deeper or expound more about these three kinds of hypothetical proposition. So when we say hypothetical or conditional or connective, it is the states that if one proposition is true, then another proposition is also true. And it is the one that using if or then. So example, so if it rains, then the ground will be wet. So in here, it is also it has another in another definition. It is also the wait. So in another definition, the connective is also the one that is only imaginary. It is either will not happen or did not happen. So the next one is the conjunctive. So conjunctive, it states that two contradictory statements cannot be both true of the same subject. So example, it is not the case that both the sky is blue and the sky is green. So the other definition of the conjunctive, it is a compound statement that combines two or more propositions using the word and. So the word that they are using in here is the and. So that's why it in the example, it is not the case that both the sky is blue and the sky is green. So lastly is the disjunctive. So disjunctive is a presence two or more alternatives stating that at least one of them must be true, often using either or. So example, either it will rain or the sun will shine. So in another definition, disjunctive, it is a statement that asserts that one or more of its alternatives is true. So it is saying that at least one of the statements is true. So that is the end of my discussion. I hope you've learned something or acquire some more knowledge about the uh, about my topic. So thank you. Bye.